What's going on, guys? It's your boy, the ACNJS, and as always, Fallen. We're back with the
So,
with the Games and Things episode 6.
podcast. You didn't say
Podcast.
Games and Things
Podcast.
podcast.
My bad. Sorry,
Because
B.
it's a podcast. I don't know if you're
Right.
aware.
So today we have about 3, almost 4 weeks worth of stuff.
Because we're lazy and busy.
Well, somebody was busy taking vacation in undisclosed islands out in an undisclosed coast of the United States. So let me take you back. We have been playing the Ezio trilogy, specifically Assassin's Creed 2.
Collection.
The Ezio collection, same thing.
No, it's not.
My God. And I was thinking back, and I was like, Assassin's Creed 2 came out in 2009, right? So
Right.
I got to thinking, okay, there were a lot of games that came out that year, but I wasn't sure which ones. So before we reveal which games came out that year along with Assassin's Creed, I thought, what about Assassin's Creed 1, which came out in 2007, and how many games came out that year and how many franchises were started? So, literally, if you go to Google, you can see how many games came out that year. And just to name the top ones that, like, everybody knows, Call of Duty 4, Bioshock,
Ooh.
Portal, Halo 3,
Portal.
Super Mario Galaxy, The Witcher, Assassin's Creed, as we mentioned, Mass Effect, Uncharted 1, God of War 2, Rock Band. Is there anything else notable? I don't think so. No. So, The Simpsons, the game. But those are some of the big hitters, right? And right out of the gate, you had two that stood out to me were, of course, Assassin's Creed, which started Mass Effect and Uncharted. Well, if we skip ahead to 2009, and this was the big shocker to us, because we'd forgotten how many games came out this year.
Your wallet must have been broken if you bought this stuff back in 2009, to be completely honest.
We had
Mine would be.
We had Batman Arkham Asylum, Assassin's Creed 2, Uncharted 2, Borderlands, Left 4 Dead 2, let's see, Halo 3, ODST, Super Mario Bros. Wii, Resident Evil 5, Minecraft, League of Legends, all of the DLC for GTA 4, like the Ballad of Gay Tony. All of these games came out in this timeline, and it's very interesting to like sit back and be like, what games came out the same year? If I had had a console back then, I would have played all of these games. But me being 12 or 13, I went on YouTube and I would watch those 10 to 15 minute videos, and that's something else I also wanted to transition to, which was, when we were 12 and 13, our normal day was, okay, get on the console, play some
Modern
COD,
Warfare 2, yep.
play some COD, get on a shitty microphone on the Xbox, get our
Say
mama,
your mom into everything.
your mom, dick jokes all the way through. And back
getting
then,
cussed out by a 30-year-old.
and back
And
then,
being threatened to be DDoSed. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. My dad works for Microsoft, head ass.
oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And so back then, the game or game series that defined our generation, in my opinion, was
Modern Warfare
Call
2.
of Duty. Well, that
yeah,
too,
that's fair.
but just the
Call of Duty
franchise.
in general. No, you're right. You're
And
right.
the
You're right.
platform was YouTube. But if you take a look at 12 and 13-year-olds today, they don't sit on YouTube and watch 10 to 15 minute videos. They'll go to Twitch and they'll watch like 5-hour streams. And the game that has defined our generation, I hate to say it, is Fortnite, because
Even though they're about to. Oh, never mind. Keep talking.
well,
I'll
yeah,
talk about that later.
they're about to.
No, we'll talk
kill
about that
it off.
later.
But I just found that interesting that back in our day we had Call of Duty and then we had YouTube, and now we have Fortnite and Twitch. It makes me think, okay, what's the next big multiplayer game that's going to come out on this brand new platform? How are they going to integrate it to where, okay, we had short videos, now we have really long videos. What's next for YouTubers and streamers? What's the next big thing that's going to come out when we're like 30 or 50? The generation after the 12 and 13-year-olds that are in that position now. What's going to happen after that? And it's just an idea to think on. It's like, oh, that's going to be so cool to think of in the future. Twitch not too long ago, they came up with the interactive thing where people could comment a certain command and they would move the character that way. I forget what game that was with, but they did it with two or three of them. And I was like, that's so cool. I wonder how they're going to incorporate that in the future,
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that after this, after like I don't know, I feel like the big game is I don't know, because I feel like the battle royale genre like was a wave, and I feel like a new genre is gonna pop up, and I just don't know what. Because remember, like for a while it was the storytelling, like Telltale,
Right.
and then now we're hitting this battle royale genre, which isn't really my thing. And then before that, you had the grinding games,
Right.
like wow. And I agree with you, and I honestly think that streaming is gonna revolutionize. Because not only has streaming revolutionized the whole just streamer industry, it's also revolutionized esports. I
Right.
mean, when you talk about how many people log in for an Overwatch tournament or
Yeah.
a Dota 2, I mean, they're getting more views than some of these companies, these like NFL and stuff, and it's free. It's completely free. It's all run off of donations, and people donate. So it's like I do agree with you. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see where all this heads as we get older.
And it's very interesting because nowadays you have going back to like kids our generation, there are people who I used to watch on YouTube that are now Twitch streamers, or people who I used to watch on YouTube who have changed completely. And it's very interesting because a lot of these people started when YouTube got really popular in like 2008, and I followed these people for that long, and it's just interesting to see them transition into the new wave of things.
I agree 100%.
But that was just the intro. That's just food for thought. I thought it was really interesting, sitting down playing some nostalgic or a very nostalgic game for both of us.
Getting the Assassin's Creed armor literally. Getting the Altair armor literally 5 minutes ago. Great feeling.
And then on to Brotherhood Revelations because there's nothing out currently.
Star Wars, where you at?
Star Wars coming out, Death Stranding. And we'll move on to the big news. I think this was 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had the Sony State of Play. Did you watch any of it?
Take it away, Jonah.
Okay, so you didn't watch any of it.
Take it away, Jonah.
Okay. So I wasn't able to stream it, unfortunately, because I was actually in class, and I go to class, and I don't skip usually. Stay in school, kids.
Weird flex, but okay.
And I actually recorded the whole thing. It was like 30 minutes or something. That's what I... Okay, hold on. Side note. What I really hate is when... Not Twitch streamers, but like companies like Ubisoft and Microsoft and EA, during E3, they're like, oh yeah, the stream will start at like 12 p.m., but the actual stream doesn't start until like 30 minutes to an hour later. I hate that. Anyways, the actual stream on like PlayStation, I think it's like 45 minutes, but my channel it's like 30 minutes because they did 15 minutes of, filler BS. Anyways, moving on. A couple of big things that they announced. LA Noire, however you say that, in VR. Did you ever play?
Really? LA?
Yeah, Noire.
No, I haven't actually ever played it. Okay, I lied. I played a demo of it, but that's close as I got. I remember hearing it was good, but like there were some issues with it that made it like not like,
buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it free roam or was it not free roam?
I think it was.
I remember that was okay.
And if you play, I don't know. I should know this, but off the top of my head, I don't know the company that does it. But I remember I had played it after playing Mafia 2, and it felt like the driving and everything and the environment felt very much like Mafia 2. But where I got messed up was you have to like actually connect the dots into clues and things. And if you mess up, that causes consequences. And I remember I was never able to get past like a certain point. I was like, screw it, and uninstall the game. But LA Noire in VR seems
I'd be interested. I think that time period's really cool, so I'd actually be interested in that.
And then
I just don't want to buy a VR.
Yeah, that's another thing is with the whole
too
like
expensive.
innovation thing? Is it moving towards VR, or is VR still like a very niche market? Like a
I
lot of
mean, Battle Royale was a very niche market for a long time,
That's
and then look what
true.
happened to it. I think VR will take off. I just don't think it's time yet because everybody's gonna get sick of all these yearly games. To get sick of buying a new console,
Mhm.
and then some big VR game is gonna come out that everybody's gonna be obsessed with once they improve the technology some more, and everybody's gonna be on that.
Right.
I'm still waiting for it to blow up and everybody where VRs are literally like easy to get. Like I'm waiting for that day.
Apparently, and this goes into the well, actually, I'll save that for later. Um, Next is Death Stranding. This isn't anything new gameplay wise. It didn't really come as a shocker. During the State of Play stream, they announced they have a PS4 Pro and controller bundle, and the console actually has like the little handprints all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And the controller, they said the baby will talk through the controller. I was like, that's weird, but
Oh yeah, I
okay.
remember you talking about this.
And it went gold, or it has gone gold, and that was on Thursday, September 26th. Do you know what that means?
No.
You have okay. So when a game goes gold, that essentially means that the game is ready and it has been shipped from the dev team
Oh.
to the company. And there was a Twitter picture that Kojima tweeted, and the picture was the disc was holding in he was holding it in his hands, and it had the thing on it saying it had gone gold. Essentially, they put all of the gameplay, everything, on one master disc, and then they send that disc to the publishing studio for mass production. So it went gold, and
That's
they did that.
insane.
And
So
a
now
lot,
the last step is being mass produced, correct?
correct. And I would hope so, considering it's coming out in less than a month now. I think it's at like 27 days or something last time I checked my PlayStation. Another huge thing, which we definitely talked about, but we didn't talk about on the podcast, Last of Us Part 2 wasn't released. That was the last big reveal. It was actually a shocker for me because I figured they would have waited for it to be the last game to be on the PS4, but they went ahead and decided to release it for, I think it's February 21st. They have 5 different editions. You can go check out my video on those different editions. I go into detail on every single one of them. Interesting fact, if you buy any of the physical editions, it actually comes with 2 discs, which means that the space on my hard drive on my PS4 is about to get a lot fuller, because if it's 2 discs and it's physical, it's gonna
It's
be
gonna take forever to download too.
we'll see. We'll see. I did already pre-order it digitally, so we'll see. Something I wanted to ask your opinion of. I know you've seen The Last of Us, but you haven't played it.
I'm gonna play the Last of Us after AC2 or Brotherhood. I'm still debating on when I'm gonna play it, but I will play through The Last of Us because I feel like I need to experience that instead of watching it. And I am interested because I like the zombie title genre, and
Right.
I'll get back to you on that. I do have interest in playing it. I just don't know when I'm gonna play it because
Well,
I also want to get through the Uncharted series. I want to get through a lot of the PlayStation classics because
right.
I was a Microsoft boy, unfortunately, growing up, and all I ever had was Halo. So yeah,
Ah, I see. Come to the
I need to
dark
get
side.
into yeah. It's not the dark side. You
Come
think it's
to the
dark
light side.
Yeah, you think it's the dark side until you realize how much better it is, and then you never want to go back.
Right.
Yeah.
The question I was going to ask you, did you know, while you were just watching it, did you know that there was multiplayer in the game?
No, that's what I
Okay.
never knew that there was.
See, it's funny because fans are split on this. I knew there was multiplayer, but I only played excuse me. I only played 2 or 3 matches. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to clear
Oh.
my throat.
That's
I only
okay.
played like 2 or 3 matches, and I didn't find it all that great. So I was like, I don't care. Apparently, fans have different like opinions on this. Like one is, oh yeah, I knew it was there, but I didn't care about it, or I had no idea it was there, or I played that more than the main game. Um, and so my personal opinion is, I don't care that there isn't multiplayer, because in my eyes, a game is a full game if there's only single player. I don't care if a game is just or is just multiplayer. I don't really consider it a game. I know that's backwards and might seem controversial, but it's like games like Fortnite. I don't consider it a real game because there's no story to it. That's just my opinion. You guys can laugh at me
I've
in the
said that about
comments all you
even
want.
as much as as much as I love Smash, I had an argument with somebody who knew I was a diehard Smash fan because they said it's going to win Game of the Year. I said, how can it win Game of the Year when it's not a game? It's a fighting game.
But
It's not
Smash has a story though, doesn't it?
Does it have a story that can win Game of the Year?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so you're saying it
The
doesn't. Shit.
story mode, I say in quotation marks, for Ultimate was a bunch of grindy challenges with like, you know, 3 maximized Yoshis versus you as a tiny Link. Like that, is that a campaign story?
No.
Yeah, I don't even know how it ended.
God.
Brawl, however, was the only one with a really. I'm gonna piss off people the Brawl haters, but Brawl was the only one with a good story.
Right.
That one actually had a story, so that was a solid game. But Smash like is a fighting game. I'm like, how can a fighting game win Game of the Year? It would win Fighting Game of the Year, but it can't win Game of the Year. You know what I
Right.
mean? I actually do share that same.
Got it.
Same thing.
When you're playing through the game, you will actually appreciate this a lot more. So those of us who have played through the game, as you're playing through the game, you have to craft different things. You can craft like Molotovs, smoke bombs, shivs. In this game, because if you noticed, whenever you play as Ellie, she has a little knife, and it never breaks. So there's no shiv mechanic in Last of Us 2 because you're using Ellie's knife, which I really appreciate, not having to have materials to craft something like that constantly. Um, let's see. They also announced that Dark Horse Comics is doing their own statue and art book, which is $180. I think it's a bunch of BS because personally, if you go and look up Dark Horse Comics statue, it is the statue that should be in the collector's edition instead of the one that they have, in my personal opinion. But I think it was probably much more expensive because the statue is actually crafted by the Naughty Dog artists, but it's like painted by other people, which I think is pretty cool. Last bit of news is that the game is 50% larger than the first game.
Wow.
My theory is that it isn't necessarily larger in terms of narrative, but I think they might have done it kind of like Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy, where they just opened up a bunch of regions to where it's more free roam instead of linear. I think that might be the case.
Okay.
So moving on, even though it's still Sony, what the heck?
Sony.
Yeah, even though it's still Sony, my mouse is like freaking out. I don't know what setting that set it on. There was a leaked design that we had talked about. I think it might have been the last podcast or before.
It was the one before. It wasn't the last one.
Right, where we showed images of the supposed PS4. It has been confirmed. PS5, my bad. It has been confirmed that this is a dev kit that different developers for Sony are currently using. That is not necessarily the PS5 that we are going to see, but more than likely it will be some variation of that design. And I gotta say, that design looks really slick. I really enjoy it.
I think it looks alright.
And just, keep the Sony train moving. This was a couple of weeks ago. It has a new power save feature where when you put your PS5 in rest mode, it will save more energy than the PS4 does.
Oh,
I think
real?
it was like 0.5 watts or something. which is really low and impressive, especially if it can suspend applications.
Especially a console.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure if they've already done this or if they're going to do this, but apparently they've opened up or will be opening up a physical Sony store that you can go to pick up, and I quote, Sony swag. It'll be interesting. I mean, go in there. Hey, can I get a PS5? Yeah, sure, man.
God, that would be something you would do. Walk in, get a Sony sweater, get a Sony shirt, get a Sony.
I was
statue,
actually thinking about getting a
Sony
sweater,
altar,
yeah.
get a Sony PS5, just all that.
In sad news, Sean Layden left Sony Interactive Entertainment under weird circumstances because it was I think it was a Japanese account that had tweeted out that he was leaving, and they didn't give any specific reason. It was weird that he didn't say anything on his own Twitter, and there was a lot of rumors about like infighting. It's very interesting because not even like a week after this happened, they dropped the announcement for the PlayStation 5, which comes out in holiday 2020, which is something I can say I was right. I've proved it. I've been on this for the past 4 years. I have said time and time again it would come out holiday 2020. I am right. However, I was wrong with Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us, I'm sad to say. So, I'm half right. I'll take the win. Unfortunately, we don't have any price details. If I had to guess, I would say the base is going to be between $450 and $500. If the Pro is going to come out alongside it, I would say that's probably between $500 and $550. As far as backwards compatibility, they've said, supposedly, that it is PS4 backwards compatible, but that's the disc, like the physical disc, and digital stuff as long as you use the same PlayStation Network account, which I did not know that beforehand. And that's what I was worried about. So that's good. But they're still working, apparently, I guess, on PS3, PS2, maybe even PS1, because it's different software compared to what they're using now. The new controllers that'll launch with the PS5 will have haptic feedback. They'll feel heavier than the current DualShock 4, but they'll be lighter than the Xbox controller with batteries, and they have adaptive triggers.
Alright.
This I found interesting. Say you download the new Call of Duty on the PS5, you will now have the ability to install just the campaign, just the multiplayer, or both. If you play through the campaign, then you can delete the campaign, but still play the multiplayer without having to have the full game altogether.
That is amazing, and that is so good for people who needs the storage managed. Actually, I like that. That's awesome. For people who can't afford to get hard drives.
That's what I really like.
That's great. Yeah, no, I really like how Sony's going into detail with these things. Xbox Scarlet, what you got? I'm waiting. What else do you have besides Halo Infinite? Oh, nothing? Just like usual. Sorry.
You're good. They have some new UI that I found was interesting. I'm not exactly sure. Nobody knows what this looks like, but it sounds, what's the word? Innovative, I guess would be the right word. So they have this new fancy dancy UI. Say you come home from school, Jeremy, and you turn on your PlayStation 5, right? Mm-hmm. Or you come home from school, you turn on your PS4. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing you do when you turn on the PS4?
Log into my account and click on the Ezio collection. Okay,
for me, what I do is I log in and I go up to my friends menu to see who's online and see if there's a party going.
Oh yeah, I stopped doing that because my PS4 at this point is only for single player games. I don't play I do all my multiplayer gaming on my PC now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair point.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
To your social life.
I don't have one. Which is fine. Somebody. What's this message? Oh, that's not. Okay, cool. Sorry, I got a Discord message. So apparently, when you log into the PS5, whatever this new UI HUD looks like, if you click on, or not even click on, but if you're like, not cursor or whatever, if the outline is on a game, it will tell you what is currently going on in real time. So it'll tell you if you can join like a match, if your friends are in a match. I guess if your friends are in like a party and they're playing on that specific game. If it's a single player game, apparently it'll tell you like what the next mission is and possibly even like rewards you can unlock, which I
Oh.
think is very interesting, but I want to hold off and see what it looks like. Because for me, that would be a big thing to go, okay, let me play Assassin's Creed the Ezio trilogy, and it goes beside it, oh, there's a PlayStation party, and like these people are in it. That would be cool, instead of me having to go up to my
Yeah.
the sub menu and go all the
Yeah.
way over to the party and then see
Not only
what's
that,
going
but then
on.
like sometimes it makes you go pan out of your game, and then it takes 10 years
Yeah.
to process that invite. So by the time you're back, you've been booted for inactivity,
Yep.
and your KD's like 0.3 negative or -3.
Or
Yeah,
sometimes you like accidentally click the application, you're like, ah, crap, and then you're
Yeah,
trying to go
exactly.
back to the home menu. It's like, oh, can't go back because we're loading. It's like, so this will be
And then your
interesting.
whole PS4 crashes, and you gotta go. Sorry guys, my PS4 crashed.
Oh boy,
Fun times.
fun times. So I cannot wait to see what that looks like. I don't think Sony will be at E3 this upcoming year. Usually,
I
the
just want another
rumors.
Nintendo Direct.
Well, yeah. Usually the rumors for E3 start swirling around February and March.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see by then. I think they're going to showcase it on another Sony State of Play or whatever. But it's interesting
Mm-hmm.
the time frame of The Last of Us because that's in February. And
Wait, when the game comes out?
yeah, when the game comes out is in February, and then we skip March, and then April is Cyberpunk.
Oh.
So if you were but this is why I'm saying I don't think they're going to do E3. Is E3 is in June or July. If they've already released The Last of Us and they don't want to give away anything that they're launching with the PS5, the only game we know about then is Ghost of Tsushima. They would only have one game to showcase left for the year, or one big game to showcase for the year. So I don't think they're going to do E3 because I think they have stuff to showcase. They just don't want to show it at that point till after they launch the new console.
I agree. Well, yeah, if you want to flex your console's new graphics, I would wait too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I said, they're competing with the new Xbox that's coming out. And let's be honest, that Xbox One X was no joke. Sony's got a plate to fill when it comes to graphics and quality.
Here's the
Gameplay.
thing, and I can say this. I don't care what the graphics look like. If Sony has an exclusive and it looks interesting, I'll play the exclusive. I don't
No,
care
you're
if
right,
the
but
graphics
I'm talking
are
about
bad.
I'm talking about the audience that it does target.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a different kind of audience. Me and
Yeah.
you, where I care about graphics to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, I love graphical power. It's my favorite thing. But like, for example, with Greedfall, because I love retro gaming, I can easily tolerate bad graphics. It's just when you give me the expectation of like a crazy game with graphics and it's not like that, and which is why another example against Greedfall, which it was like that on Greedfall, I was a little bit disappointed. So yeah.
What else do we? Oh, this one is in your wheelhouse. I don't know if you researched any of this or not. Sony
Wheelhouse?
Caves, yeah, in your
I'm
area
joking.
of expertise.
No, I'm joking, yeah.
For those in our audience who don't know what that means, Sony caves in with crossplay. So apparently,
Hold on.
Apparently, Sony finally decided to cave in, and they made I'm not sure if it's everything or only certain games, but they finally caved and made some games crossplay. I know Rocket League, I think, is crossplay between PS4 and like PC. I'm not
Sorry
sure.
about that. I'm back.
I'm not sure about the rest. Is crossplay for Sony? Is that
Crossplay is currently in beta right now, and Sony's testing it, and it's gonna go. We don't know when it's gonna go live yet, but they're currently running a beta for it.
do we
And-
know which games specifically?
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
cool.
All we know is that they finally have caved, and they're finally doing it.
Cool.
So I'm very, very excited for that.
In other news, there's been rumors of another Batman game coming through. I was wrong. Apparently, this is not being made by what's it called? This is not being made by Rocksteady. It's made by the same company that did Origins, Arkham Origins, and Kevin Conroy, who is the voice actor, the voice of Batman in most of the games, has said he's not a part of it. But there are rumors that the Court of Owls will be a huge part of the game. And you actually asked me the Court of Owls what they were. It's kind of hard, not hard to explain. Basically, they're like the protectors of Gotham, and they have been for like hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's it. They had their own what's it called? They had their own storyline in Gotham, which I thought was very interesting. And now we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. And we're back. Today's sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a sponsor, but if you were the sponsor of a company, love to give you a plug. Coca-Cola, looking at you. Because Pepsi is too sweet. Tostino's pizza rolls, I'll eat them on camera.
Oh my god.
Bagel Bites, Doritos, Mountain Dew, not Mountain, whatever.
Who cares?
Ubisoft does it again. Ghost Recon Breakpoint released, and
Lil Wayne, stop playing it. No, I'm joking.
yeah, there was a commercial with a bunch of rappers.
I love that so much.
And Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The way he says it is great.
I can't do it. Can
But
you just keep going?
when they released the game, immediately hit with a bunch of loot boxes and pay to win stuff, and nobody wanted it. And of course, we had seen this with Odyssey, where it released with that, and they said, "Oh, we'll take it off for a limited time," knowing them they'll put it back after like everything settles down, just like they did with Odyssey.
Game, you have loot boxes? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think they first started that with
Ubisoft. I call
no,
it Ubisoft just to make that
I think it was
clear.
recently that I remember of was Origins. They've always had loot boxes in Siege, which is understandable because it's a multiplayer game, and the stuff that you can buy doesn't enhance the gameplay. But the stuff I think that you can buy in Origins and Odyssey and probably Recon does enhance it. So I don't see what the point of it is. And just the other day, scrolling through Twitter, and of course Ubisoft is coming up with a TV show for Watch Dogs. It's a preteen show.
I actually think that'll hit. I think it will hit.
Unfortunately, it probably will.
I think it's gonna hit easily.
And then your news about this other TV show they're putting out.
So there are two other TV shows coming out, and then I actually do want to talk about this whole thing with Ubisoft after that. But so first of all, I'm actually, because I recently bought the game for $6, and I'm actually very interested in watching this one, and I will be tuning into this one because I love Blood Dragon.
Oh.
Far Cry Blood Dragon is getting its own TV show, and it's going to go through the characters of the show, of the game, and it's going to pretty much be about the cyber soldier you are. I forget his full name, but yeah, it's going to be sick. I'm excited. It's going to be that whole ordeal with him. It's going to be totally like funny, like cussing, all the obscene stuff. It's going to be pretty great. I can't personally wait. I'm looking forward to that. And the other one is they're going to be doing something with Raymond and the Rabbids. They're going to be doing some kind of TV show with that, which will be interesting. I think that'll be a very, very, very big hit. I see that doing really well because people love Rabbids and people love Raymond.
Especially because they've already had a TV show with Rabbids.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I didn't know that was them originally. I was like, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. And what I wanted to say about all this TV stuff, all of this Ubisoft doing TVs, is it showing? I feel like Ubisoft's starting to struggle in the gaming department, so I feel like they're trying to branch out. And if this hits the way that Ubisoft's, I like to say Ubisoft is a joke, but I'm trying to keep it correct for the podcast, so I'm struggling. If Ubisoft hits with this, I have a feeling this will start a wave of video game TV shows. I can see so many people hopping on this.
Well, I mean, they don't care. They have their own movie studio, and they made the garbage Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm saying video game TV shows. That maybe that'll hit differently, you know?
well, they already. I don't know if they had a hand in it or not, but they did Jack Ryan on the Amazon Prime special
I
thing.
want to watch that. I heard it's awesome.
I don't know if they had any hand in that. I just
My boy,
know it's
John
Tom
Krasinski.
Clancy's Jack Ryan or whatever.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, do they have a hand in Tom Clancy's books?
Yes, they own.
Oh, they do?
Or no. They don't. Those were written by Tom Clancy, but I think Ubisoft owns some sort of portion of the rights to use
To the
them
name?
to
Got
the
it.
name and the genre apparently. And he's been dead for how many ever years.
Yeah.
So they own the rights to some of that stuff. So I don't know. But speaking of Jack Ryan, Modern Warfare Spec Ops Survival Mode 1 year exclusive to PS4.
Everybody wants to boycott the game now, and I'm personally disappointed in the loot boxes, but I'm still gonna I'm still gonna try it out and see how miserable it is because I don't have to pay for the game.
And loot
I
boxes
love game share.
have been revealed, unfortunately.
So close, so close.
I think
so close.
I don't know how I feel because
If they're the same ordeal as like Black Ops 3, I don't think it'll be that bad. But if it's on the level of Black Ops 4, I think it'll be trash. With that stupid battle pass that you can buy tiers.
I don't think it would be as bad if they promoted it, I guess. I don't understand why they're getting so much backlash. Well, no, I do. Never mind,
Yeah,
I do.
No, okay, but here's the thing. If it's just cosmetics, why does it... Who cares?
Right.
Who gives a crap? I don't know if it's become pay to win yet, so I could be totally wrong, but the moment it becomes pay to win, then it's like, nah.
Well, I was talking about loot boxes. I was talking about the exclusive. I was going to say...
Oh, that's so dumb.
I don't think it should be a year. I know, they have exclusivity brands, like they switch off every year, like Ubisoft does between we'll have the Division 2 content 2 to 3 months before Xbox. If they were to do that, I don't think it would be as bad, but I guess they gave Sony gave them like a buttload of money to say, hey, you're exclusive survival mode. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't personally invested in the game. I don't care, but I do see how this would enrage people.
Well, yeah.
A lot.
Well, first of all, I'd
because
like
of
to
the
say
two
if
things.
you don't have a PlayStation 4, it's your own fault. Because if you have an Xbox, that's on you because you already have chosen wrong. All jokes aside though, seriously, all jokes aside, when it comes to this, I see the frustration because I mean, let's be honest, in a year from now, it'll be Black Ops 5 or whatever the heck they do. It's like, what a waste, But I actually do think this Call of Duty title will have a longer lifespan than most other Call of Duties, to be completely honest with you. Just the way it plays. I'm saying, just like EA should do, they should make like how I think EA and 2K with their sports games should turn them into a live service. I think they should make like a Call of Duty like Modern Warfare, make it a live service, and then just go with that. Because in my opinion, that would be so much better.
This just reminded me. This just brought me back full circle to the beginning of our podcast. Because if you think about it, back then, when franchises were just starting, it seems like companies knew how to make games and knew how not to screw over their audience. And I think Ubisoft, in part, is a problem because they are the type of company to recycle old games every freaking year. And we had that with Assassin's Creed for 4 or 5 years, and then they finally took 2 years off, and we had the great game we know of now as Origins. But then the next year after that, we had Odyssey, and it's like, ugh. And this upcoming year, we'll probably have another game in October. If we don't have an AC game this year, I'm going to be surprised. But that's another something, is that kids these days are used to repetitive titles coming out compared to when we were kids. We were used to
you
between
wait to get a good game.
2 to 5 to 6, 7 to 8 years for a sequel to come out. And that's another problem of the industry with Ubisoft. Is when Ubisoft likes to keep the same trends in their different games. There's like the whole following, like you have to have a certain amount of followers thing, which was like Watch Dogs and Far Cry 5.
Trailing unskippable cutscenes.
Yeah.
What's the rest of it from Donkey? Trailing unskippable. He said it's about a 20-hour game, and it's like a 20-hour game of BS with 8 hours of fun hidden in it.
Yeah.
I watched that video last night and I was crying.
That too.
Shout out to Donkey.
But
yeah.
What is it? The other trope that they've done now is in Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Wildlands, and Assassin's Creed, is the trend of, oh hey, let's have you go somewhere, get intel, and then have you take down like a million different bosses to get to the head honcho.
Yeah, exactly.
In Wildlands there were like 12. In Far Cry there's 3, and then you go kill the main bad guy. And in Breakpoint there's like a bunch of them before you get to Mr. Bernthal. All respect to John Bernthal, he's a hell of a man. Appreciate the hell out of him playing as Punisher and doing what he does. I really enjoy his work. You know where he started?
Where?
The Walking Dead, and this segment's perfectly into that.
No, Activision.
No. That's fine.
Okay.
Just a quick thing. If you guys didn't know,
no, it's fine.
The Walking Dead season 10 premiered last Sunday. Well, but yeah, by the time it comes up, it'll be 2 Sundays ago. Interesting so far. Has me interested. If this season doesn't pull anything off, I'm going to stop watching the show. Last season, I didn't.
You still watch it?
Yes, last season I didn't.
Wait, people still watch it?
Yes, people still watch it. Last weekend, I didn't care. Or last season, I didn't really care about it. The season before it was really good. And in my opinion, any TV show is good when the setting is war. So the last really good season was the war with the governor. And then the other good season was the war with Negan. And now this season we have a war with another group, and I won't spoil it from there. And now we can go back to whatever you were saying. Activision?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not Activision. Sorry. Is it Activision? The whole Hong Kong
Blizzard.
Blizzard, thank you. Blizzard, just a little information on that, because I know there's video, a lot of people are in that realm of Overwatch. I guess they're handing out, I haven't watched the video yet, but they're handing out 1,000-year bans right now.
Oh my, what? How is that even?
I'm not joking. That was I watched another plug, The Quartering, Jeremy from The Quartering, love the guy. And he was saying that there's been 1,000-year bans on games, and there was another company that was doing the same thing. Does Blizzard do Overwatch?
I think so. You want to look it up real quick?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so let me get into everything. So, I think it is like League or WoW.
I think it's Overwatch.
Blizzard.
Yeah, Overwatch.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, what happened was there was this league going on in Hearthstone. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry. I don't play Hearthstone anymore. So pretty much what happened was it was like this really high up match in the game, and he won. And he went on and he said sent his condolences for everything going on in Hong Kong, and saying he was part of the revolution. And he had a gas mask on the entire game so people couldn't see his face. After the game, he says it, and like the two announcers hide under the table because they don't want to be associated with it, and they cut to a commercial break. After that, Blizzard, I think, bans, or the competitive area of that bans him from, kicks him out of the season. It's like grand something, or I don't know. And then they kick him out of it, and then they also ban him from it. And then after this decision, they double down on it, and then people are boycotting Blizzard. Their stocks are falling. People are, it's a mess. Everybody hates Blizzard right now. Like nobody wants to do anything with Blizzard, and they put out weak statements addressing this issue, and they're not going to change their mind on it because they don't want China to be pissed off, and they don't want to end up like what happened in the NBA with the whole thing with Daryl Morey, NBA fans AE. And now I guess there are other. I think it's either league or some other big game where they're discouraging players from going and doing those things in their tournaments. So it's kind of becoming a big deal because it's kind of interesting to show how much power China really has, even in the video game world when these games are all usually made in the U.S. I'm not going to get into politics on this, but it's just interesting, and it's a lot of controversy, and there's a lot of people upset, and Blizzard right now is suffering tremendously.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So,
I'm interested to see where this
leads.
goes.
Yeah, we'll update on that later.
Speaking
of things going on, speaking of things on that side of the country, the Nintendo Switch Lite that came out, and unfortunately you deleted it off the thing.
No, it's at the top, you idiot.
Oh my god, it's right there. Anyways, the Nintendo Switch.
We're having a mental breakdown on the podcast. We'll be back.
I gotta collect my. Good grief. So anyways, the Nintendo Switch, they dropped the Nintendo Switch Lite, and there's yet again there's a Joy-Con drift, and people are livid because you can't just replace the Joy-Cons for $80. You gotta replace the whole console for $200.
I think that's worse.
I agree. Somebody who's actually gonna end up buying a Switch Lite, because I will at some point, because I'm very interested in buying one, whether it's for Christmas or my birthday or something, or I just buy it with my own money. I do want to get one. I'm very intrigued, because I would like to not have to worry about taking my only Switch places and then risking it getting lost or stolen. I would like to have a Switch Lite to actually take with me places.
You just answered my question. I was gonna be like, why are you gonna buy a new one if it has drift? And then you're like, oh well, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take the risk because personally, I'm a big Smash player, and if I lost my Switch, I would lose about 75% of my entertainment. So I'm big in the competitive community too, so I would lose all that jazz. I won't say big, but I'm in there. But, so I'd lose all that. So I am debating on asking for a Switch Lite, but we'll see how that goes. And then another Nintendo. There's something else I wanted to mention about Nintendo, but the new Dragon Quest came out, and this is probably really old news, but the new Dragon Quest came out, and it's banging apparently. I'm actually interested in buying it. At some point, I may buy it as well. And another thing, I was going to talk to you about this, but if for the two people that watch this, if you want to leave a comment and see if this would be interesting. I was thinking about adding a little topic, because I personally like indie games, and I especially love indie games on my Switch, and I was thinking about starting a little thing where I recommend, or like you can too, but like recommending like Switch titles that are coming out, because let's be honest, we're all trying to find uses for our Switch because we bought it all excited and then realized,
oh, there's nothing here.
What am I actually going to do with my Switch? So to help solve that problem, I was thinking about, I'll talk to you this more in depth after, but just to hear the two people's opinions about starting a new Switch, and mostly they will be affordable Switch games, unless it's like a Mario Odyssey type of deal. It's like, hey, this might be the best thing that's ever come out on the Switch, Mario Odyssey, and you should buy it, Mario Odyssey. But yeah, so I was thinking about starting a segment on that. So if you're interested in that, leave your opinion on like fun indie games or just fun titles you can get on your Switch that'll be fun to take on the go. But no, that's all I have on Nintendo. So
I mean, you can talk about it regardless of whether those people say or not.
Okay, cool. So you're fine with it, because I know how you get.
I have my segments that you get mad at, like Cyberpunk and Death Stranding. So
okay, I don't like actually get mad.
I know.
I just like to give you. Okay, I was making sure you knew that.
But I'm saying okay. I don't care. I'll just sit back and get on Twitter. Anyway.
Oh. Yeah.
TV and movies. We jumped the gun with The Walking Dead on this. But what's it called? Sony and Marvel finally made up. Apparently, they have agreed to X number of money. That they're going to do at least one more film with Tom Holland as Spider-Man to complete the
I hope more than just
trilogy,
one.
the final, well, not final trilogy, but finally a trilogy with the same person. Because we've been through this with Andrew Garfield. Actually, no, wait. Tobey Maguire did a full trilogy too, didn't he? Wow, I'm stupid, and I'm the movie guy.
Just keep talking. You're already in a.
I was already there. For those of you who are cultured, Mr. Robot, the final season, the USA
Wow.
Network final season is here. I think this is like the 5th or 6th season. Very interesting, very weird. A lot of, I don't want to say people, a lot of people who are fans of the show really praise it for showcasing it for what it is. Basically, the show is about a hacker man who like infiltrates a company and like they start doing stuff and they start having to hide from the company they're working for and hiding from like the police, and it's this whole big thing. So essentially this is like Watch Dogs but 10 times better and more realistic. So if you even have like a remote interest in like hacking or coding, this is the show to watch. And if you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, the lead star who played Freddy, Remy Malik, is the lead character in Mr. Robot. And it also has Christian Slater, who is like the second main character in the show, which is very cool. I have a very close friend who he's like, oh, I haven't even seen season 4 yet. And I'm like, you need to get on that, son. I wanted to get your opinions on this because I have my own, of course, and I'll express them, but I want to see what you have to say first. Martin Scorsese, Marvel movies aren't cinematics.
That's facts. That's literal facts. They aren't.
Excuse me?
I actually do agree with this.
Oh, you do?
Because, yes, no, I agree with this. Only for the reason that they're not new, they're not innovative, and they don't do anything but regurgitate stuff that's already been there. That's already been created.
If you go that
Examples. Star Wars. Star Wars is completely a whole cinematic universe that was created by George Lucas. I can't.
Okay.
I know I'm scientific critical because of Jurassic. Because of Jurassic Park was based off of a book, you know. So I can't. I'm being my favorite movie series is based off of a book, so I'm being a little hypocritical, but still. And then you got movies like Rocky. That's based off of all of its own thing. Those took imagination and creative, you know, is ingenuity the right word? But whatever. Whereas you get these movies, yes. Do I think yes, are they sentimental to me? Yes. I love the like first 3 Iron Mans. Those have a very deep, and the first Captain America, and even the bad Hulk movie. Those have a very deep, you know, like I have a deep love in my heart for those. But it's like, are they creative? I mean, they threw Brie Larson in the movie, and it made a buttload of money. It's like, do you even have to try at this? Yeah, but it's like, do you even have to try with the Marvel movies at this point?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like all they're doing is looking at the comic, taking what's in the comic, putting an actor in, putting it on the screen. Yes, to a degree, I think the actors are the only reason the movies are good, because superhero movies have flopped in the past, like Fantastic Four. So I'm not knocking the actors, but as it's gotten bigger, you can throw any actor in, I feel like, and it wouldn't be half as bad because, you know, of it's Marvel. But I don't know actually, because I take that back. Never mind. I think the actors make the movies, but what I mean from a creative standpoint, I don't think they're cinematics, because other movies that take creative power, you know, like a lot of thought and process, are cinematics. But these are not, because you literally, and no disrespect, I love the Marvel movies. No disrespect, like, at all. I just don't. I do see this, and because I have talked to people that are very, like, you know, like, big in the movies, and especially I had a teacher that was for my film class who was a film major, and we would bring up Marvel, and he'd just go, yeah, those movies, they're kind of there, and if you compare them to other movies, they're not that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, yeah, so I don't know. I just, from my perspective, I see it as they're great movies, but I don't think they're cinematics. Like, I don't think they're like masterpieces and all that crap.
Well, here's my take on it. If you're gonna compare and you're gonna say, okay, they're not cinematics because they're based on original material, okay, that can be taken in so many different fucking directions. You could take
Mm-hmm.
that and say, okay, well, this developer created this video game. If you watch a YouTube video, oh, guess what? It's not original. So technically, you could say, oh, well, it's not a real video then because it's not original.
Yes, and I'm talking about movies, not video games.
I know. I'm just giving an example for our video game based audience who doesn't watch movies. Anyways,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
so
You confused me for a second. I
yeah,
was like,
so
what?
Marvel or Marvel movies aren't cinematics. It depends, I guess. Um, on one hand, you could have what defines a cinematic movie, and on the other, you could say, okay, well, these movies are making a buttload of money, and they are really boosting Hollywood's economy, and also you say, okay, well, cinematics, it has to come with from not from an original source. Well, yeah, you might say that, but the writers and directors still have to go through and storyboard, which is essentially their own comic books if you think about it. They have to go through and storyboard all the scenes. They have to write the script. They have to get the camera work in. They have to do all the green screen shots. Hundreds of thousands of people work on these movies, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much effort goes into the movies. So, with you
Well,
saying,
I
wait,
get that. I'm not talking from like a production. I'm talking from a creativity standpoint.
no, I got that. What I was gonna say is originally I was like, nah, he's wrong. But now that you have said that, cinematic should not come from original source, I'm not sure where I stand.
I know, because that's just my opinion. Because I don't know, and for me, it always just makes you think Star Wars, because it's like that was all created.
Right.
You know, that like you think that cinematic, like that whole universe was created from 6 movies.
Yeah.
Well, technically three,
Three.
and then the books started coming out and all that, and then the next 3, and then like it blew up from there. I mean, I mean there are so like if you talk to diehard Star Wars fans, they're talking about planets that are in like 3 pages of a book
Or a game.
that's about or a game or a book that's like about like I don't know like some clone trooper in a squad. It's ridiculous, or like some small upbringing of an alien race that the clones had to deal with. It's like holy crap.
And I
like,
think.
and that's why when I think something like really quick, I don't mean to
Yeah,
cut you
no,
off.
you're good.
Talk about something like Star Wars, and you think of something like Marvel, you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm not impressed at all. Does that make sense?
It
It's
makes-
like, yeah, they're cool to see those things come to life on the screen, and and to that degree, they still get credit for, it's shot well, the actors are picked very well, and it has its own, level of like respect. But when you're talking about like cinematics, it's not. It's just, and especially from taking a film class and talking to somebody who studied film their entire life
Mhm.
and seeing their point of view, it's not. In watching, like, you know what I mean? It's just no. I don't agree that they are.
And I think it's very interesting that you bring up Star Wars, because if a lot of people don't, half, not half, I was gonna say more work goes into making these movies than when they're released. You are only seeing, Star Wars, say 2.5 hours. It took way more than 2.5 hours to
It took years.
film like all of the scenes and do all of the props. And a lot of people are like, the prequels are better. In my opinion, they're not, because I give respect and props to the actors and the director and writer and George Lucas,
Yeah,
everybody
of
who
course.
worked on the original film. Because a lot of people,
with the models where they
'Cause-
shoot them from far away
yeah.
and then make them look big, and then
and a lot of
course.
people don't realize that green screen technology was a new thing back then. George Lucas was the first person to do this and shoot things this way. And
course.
he blew up a whole new way of how to make movies. I
Yeah,
can
not only that,
almost guarantee if George Lucas didn't use green screen, we wouldn't be making movies like Marvel how we are now. You go back and you look at Infinity War or Endgame, all of those
oh my gosh,
giant
yeah.
like battles that they did, that was all blue screen. Guess where that idea came
Wait,
from?
blue or green?
Both. Guess
Okay.
where that idea came from? George Lucas. Because I can guarantee the blue
Exactly.
screen idea came from the green screen idea, which was from So it's very interesting, and I'm a
Oh yeah.
hardcore nerd. I love going back and watching like all of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm just that
Oh, of
way
course.
because
No,
that's
yeah.
only half, not even half of the movie. I'm done
Yeah.
nerding out.
No, no,
Sorry.
wait. I'm gonna go into my nerdy.
Okay,
Now
you're
that you
good.
the first 3 episodes and hard work that goes into things, I know that Jurassic Park doesn't count as much of a cinematic because it's based off of a book. But when you talk about effort,
Yeah.
I mean, well, first let's start off. Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors next to George Lucas.
Right.
So first of all, I'll talk about Jaws with the animatronic shark and how
Yeah.
difficult that was. I think I watched that movie once, but I have so much respect for it just because I know how much went into getting that dang shark to work, and the movie almost didn't become a thing.
Yeah.
Two, I love Jurassic Park. You know how much of a nerd I am. I have the making of the first Jurassic Park book under one of my nightstands, or as I'm pointing to. And then as we're talking about this, I'm staring at my Laserdisc CDs for Jurassic Park sitting on like the back. I have like my computer, and then I have a desk full of all my other stuff, and it's on that desk full of other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about the animatronics and how difficult it was just to make those things. They had to do all of those. A lot of that had to do with robotics and a lot of that stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I was just thinking about that. I just like to chime that in, and because I mean, when we talk about like, I feel like there's an appreciation for older movies because of how much work it took. Like, have you watched the OG Clash of the Titans?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Holy crap! When you talk about, dude, that movie's old, but like it's like cringy old. Like you like, ugh. But it's like the amount of effort they put in just to get it the way they did was crazy. I mean, the Indiana Jones where all their faces melt off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that took effort. Like it's just older movies have my appreciation. I just thought I'd say that.
Of older movies, at some point,
movies.
I don't know. At some point, we're gonna sit down and watch the older movies that you haven't seen
and do a segment
that are timeless classics. And current stuff. Yeah, that's one. What's it called? The Blade Runner, all of those. So transitioning out of movies and into TV, we got a little surprise this week. It was kind of random. I didn't even know it was a thing till I saw it pop up on my feed on YouTube. Rick and Morty season 4. The trailer came out, and it's supposed to come up November 10th, I think.
Wait, November 10th? Shut up.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer yet. Oh yeah, bro.
I think it's November 10th.
Bro, speaking of new things, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I'm gonna be watching My Hero. Oh, that voice crack. My Hero Academia and Rick and Morty at the same time is gonna be a good November. And it's my birthday in November. It's gonna be a good month. And we got Star Wars, the new game coming out. And we got Disney Plus, The Mandalorian. I gotta finish JoJo.
Oh,
holy crap!
My word!
I gotta finish JoJo, bro. I gotta finish JoJo. Oh no!
You know what?
I'm gonna be so busy next.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I completely forgot about Disney Plus. I completely forgot that it was coming out next month.
No, dude, I did too until now.
That's all I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be doing schoolwork.
Do you want to watch it together?
We could.
I mean, I'm gonna buy my own Disney Plus.
Well, yeah.
My family's, because so how it works in our families, one of us owns one thing, and then like we all milk each other off of it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be the one that has Disney Plus, and my family's gonna use it off of me.
Right. But what I was gonna say is, in November, I'm gonna be doing schoolwork, playing Death Stranding, and The Mandalorian, and the Clone Wars.
I got My Hero.
The new season.
I got Rick and Morty. I got Mandalorian. I got JoJo. I got Star Wars. Yeah, I said Rick and Morty, didn't I?
Yeah, no, I know. I was talking to myself. I was being stupid. Sorry.
Oh, got it. No, that's fine. Yeah, nah. It's gonna be fun. And Pokemon. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a great month. And I'm gonna get my new mic so I don't sound like a freaking pixel.
TV.
Sorry, go ahead.
Continuing TV news. This was a very slight thing, but
sorry.
Hold on. Stay with me. You're fine.
No, I can't.
You're okay. No, you're fine. This is good news. This is good news. It is good news. This is good news. This is great news. Anyways, moving on. Netflix. Cowboy Bebop. All right. This is good news. Some people, like Jeremy, don't like the fact that Netflix is trying to basically remaster the cartoon into a live action. I give everything the benefit of the doubt. However, I am very happy about this news because the news You ready for the news? The news is that originally they were going to do a CGI corgi for Ein. If you guys don't know, there's a dog in, I think it's the first episode,
You
and
never said what show it was.
Cowboy Bebop. My bad.
There you go.
There's a dog that they name Ein the corgi. Originally they were gonna have it CGI. The news is it will be a real dog. Congratulations, that's the news. That was way too hyped. I don't know why I did that. Moving back into movies, I know I'm flip flopping here, but this was added last second.
I haven't seen it,
I know
but it's
you
my own
haven't.
fault. So if you want to talk about it, just go
I'm
ahead.
not going to talk about it at length. Joker, the movie, great movie, Joaquin Phoenix. A lot of people are like, "Oh, don't go see it," or they're like, "It's the best film ever." I don't think it was the best film ever. It is pretty dang good. And I guess the major question a lot of people are asking, they're like, "Oh, is he better than Heath Ledger?"
I'm waiting.
I don't know.
Oh.
The essential the problem is it's not a yes or no answer. It's the fact that Joaquin Phoenix brings the performance that it's in its own category, just like Heath Ledger brought his performance in its own category.
And
So
we forget about the guy in the middle.
who?
We forget about the guy in the middle that did Suicide Squad. We don't like him.
Oh, no, we don't. And well, this is a bit of news. I think a couple of days ago, he apparently "quote unquote" felt alienated.
Yeah, I
that
read that.
Warner Brothers decided to go ahead and do another actor as Joker than him. I was like, screw you. Didn't care for you anyways. Bye. Anyways, Joker, great movie. You should go see it. There's a lot of dark humor, which is my specialty and my friend's specialty. We really enjoy it. So the movie was a blast for us. I do see where some parts could be like, oh, that's too, that's too...
It's the Joker,
What's
though.
the
It's
word?
supposed to be twisted.
That's too messed up or effed up.
Right, it's the Joker, though. It's supposed to be twisted up.
That's true. Now, after seeing it, there is one specific reason that the media has been attacking this movie. And I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it. All I'm gonna say is there is a speech. I don't know if this is what you heard or not, or if this is what you're thinking of. There is a certain speech that Joaquin Phoenix performs near the end of the movie. And this speech, essentially, I believe, is why the media is like, this movie is so bad, because it preaches to the now times, to where we are as a society. That's all I'll say.
Oh, I need to see it.
It's very interesting.
I need to see it. Now you have me hooked. I'm gonna go see it.
As soon as you see it, as soon as he gives that, you're like, oh, this is why the media didn't want me to go see the movie. It's very interesting.
Is it when he goes on the show and he's like, "You should trust me"?
Spoilers.
Okay. I never saw it.
It's
I'm talking off of the trailer.
Off of the trailer? I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know.
There was a trailer where he's like, when I go on stage, can you refer to me as the Joker? Is it that area?
Yes.
Okay, because I haven't seen the movie, so that wasn't a spoiler.
Right.
Everybody's seen that in the trailer.
Which is, by the way, it's towards the end of the movie.
Alright, I'm gonna go.
You should watch it. And then, actually, we have a few more. We have a couple more. Just a little not update, but I think I mentioned it on the podcast before. Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal. He is the head guy who did Samurai Jack for 5 seasons, and he did Symbionic Titan. He is back with the name of the show is literally Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal. It's on Adult Swim. I think it's at like 9:30 or 10:30. I think they did like a week-long premiere this week, so there's like 5 episodes. I've only seen the first one, and if you don't know what it is, the trailer is basically this guy who is a Neanderthal, and he teams up with a dinosaur, and they kind of live and fight through the perils of like an early caveman, which I think is very interesting. I think is it this week? I think it's next week. Where the HBO show Watchmen comes no, it's the 20th, October 20th, is coming out. Very excited to see what that has to offer. You don't watch HBO at all. You don't watch a lot of TV. You just watch
I
anime,
don't watch
right?
any TV. Yeah, yeah.
The funny thing is, a lot of
I'm a weeb.
people with you're a weeb with HBO. It's a lot of people go, "Oh, Game of Thrones is the best show." I highly disagree, because in the middle, I think it was before the final season, they were doing this great show called Westworld, which is based off of an actual book, and it's such a good show. They have 2 seasons now. They're doing a third season. I think it's coming out next year. And if you haven't seen the show, it is one of the best shows of our time.
Westworld, you said?
Westworld. It is so good. There's so many twists and turns and loops. Usually, I'm very good at predicting what's going to happen, up to the point where it happens literally seconds later. For whatever reason, me and my dad and my mom, we can all predict things in shows. So it's really good when we can watch a show and all of us have different theories, but none of them happen, and it's completely different. It's actually exhilarating for us to watch the show. And that's what happened when we watched Westworld. We were like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and then something we didn't even think of happens. It's completely fucked. It's a great show. However, it is on HBO, which means there's a lot of sexuality, there's a lot of nudity. So if you're going to watch it, kids, don't. And for those of you who are rebellious, steal the password and watch it when your parents aren't looking, or when they think you've gone to bed. Food. I know this is a weird topic for us. You haven't tried one of these yet. I have, and that's the Taco Bell
I'm not trying that thing.
cheddar chalupa.
I eat healthy. Thank
Absolutely filled with grease.
Nope.
Was very good. I enjoyed it. I think I had 2, which is pretty good. And then I found this interesting. Wendy's. I don't know if you heard about this on Twitter. I found this out through Twitter. Wendy's released their own D&D campaign called Feast of Legends. And
I heard about the term Feast of Legends. I did not know it was D.
And it is a 97-page campaign. It's like a full book for free, by the way, that gives you like the whole plot. There's like different orders that you can join, like the order of the spicy chicken nuggets, the order of
I'd be
like,
part of that spicy chicken nugget
like,
gang, and I'd jump everyone.
just different orders and different spells you can do. It's very interesting. I actually downloaded it because I was like, this is pretty cool. The artwork alone, and just the fact that they were like, hey, there's this free thing. We created a D&D campaign. Check it out. And it's a fast food company, proves like how in what's the word, like in they are with the current crowd, I suppose, if that makes sense. I just think it's very interesting that they were like, hey, let's create a D&D campaign. All right, bet.
I know that's actually kind of cool. I have friends that friends that play D&D every Sunday. I'm gonna ask them about it. I think I'm joking.
I've always
no.
nerdy friends. No, I think you think you
It's
have
not a
nerdy
bad
friends.
thing, though. It's not a bad thing though. I think really quick. I think it's cool. I don't got the time for that. I cannot invest that much time into a game.
There's a group
just to die.
Kids that play at our college, and it's like the same time they're so fucking loud and they're so goddamn annoying. They're so annoying. Anyways, yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Are we gonna talk about anything else?
Kanye should drop his new album, please, for the love of God. I think he's like Jesus is king.
Lil Uzi Vert, please drop your Eternal Take.
Yeah, that's not happening. Did you not hear what he said?
No, what he said?
No, he said he doesn't take. He said that fashion's his #1 goal and music's a secondary thing, and he's not really. He's passionate about fashion. He doesn't really care that much about rap anymore, and he doesn't even care about dropping the album.
Ah, man.
Sorry.
Guess we're gonna have to listen to classics like
Sauce it up on repeat.
Now I Do What I Want. Sauce it up.
What's
the one? I don't remember. There's another one.
Sanguine Paradise.
No, not that one.
I really like
what's it called? The one where
I really like I think it's Race Your Social. I love that song.
Eraser Social. It's a good one. Now there's another one that I'm thinking of. Let me look at my playlist. I have a lot of different music on my playlist.
Oh yeah, I had 8 gigs worth, dude. I had to delete 8 gigs worth of music. Yeah.
Let's see, 20 Minutes, Dark Queen, P's and Q. Oh, P's and Q's.
Bro, I love Dark Queen so much.
You was right. I love P's and Q's is a bop. Buy it.
Yeah. Bro, Dark Queen, Dear Mama. I love that song.
Is that what I... No, that's not the one I was thinking of. Where is...
Traumas.
There's
Fun times.
forgetting.
It's okay.
Oh, Exo Tour Life. That's a bop, too. Love that one. Anyways.
Oh, Extra Tour Life? Yeah, everybody knows that song.
I actually showed one of my friends that, and they were like, out of all the songs that you played, this one is the best, because it, like, hit him in the feels. I was like, damn, I didn't know you felt that way.
About what song?
Exo Tour Life. They're like, this really speaks to me.
All my friends are dead. Yeah, dog. So
Push me
deep.
to
All
the
my friends are dead. That's so deep. When you have artists like... Never mind, forget it. Generation's brain dead. Anyways,
Unfortunately.
if you think Uzi's deep, you have a problem. I'm joking.
Wow,
I
okay.
like it's a joke. It's a joke. I like Uzi. I just coming from somebody who listens to people like J. Cole, and I'm not gonna be that gatekeeper about it because people know what I'm talking about when it comes to like J. Cole and Kendrick fans. They can be super obnoxious. I'm not like that. It's just kind of frustrating when I know of better music in my opinion, but it's just people, don't I am one that like I like to dig deep and like look like I like to have a lot of different music. I like to expose myself to different things. It's kind of frustrating when I'm with people and they just only care about like one thing. It's like,
Right.
like dude, there's so much. That's all I mean by that.
I have a legitimate question. So, when Kendrick Lamar's Humble came out,
Oh, I hate that album. Whatever you say, I'm just gonna thrash that album to the
okay,
floor. I hope
well
you know
that
I can't stand that album.
Here's my thing. I just listen to... I don't listen to a lot of music outside of my I listen to like a lot of variety, but I don't really like vary my artists, if that makes sense. Like the artists that I know of and I like, I don't go outside of them, if that I guess makes sense.
I used to be like that.
But what I was gonna say is Kendrick
The
Lamar,
rap's too oversaturated for me.
when he posted Humble, I don't remember what note there's like one note that I can't stand that like doesn't resonate correctly or something, like doesn't
about stretch
sound
marks or
right.
something? I thought that bar was
No,
dope.
it's literally the song "Be Humble." It's in that. I don't remember what lyric it is, but it's like in that song.
And what's allowances? Yeah, I don't. I can't stand that whole album. It's so bad. People get really mad at me because Kendrick fans think he's like the go. I personally think he's a little. If people actually watch this video, you'll know people watch this video when I
know what it
state
is.
this. Yeah, because what do you call it? I think he's overrated personally. I think there are better artists. I think he's good and he's one of the best. I just think he gives way too much credit. He could drop a crappy song and everybody's like, it's the deepest thing ever, and it's so frustrating. But I love Kendrick.
I figured out what it was. It's not a part of the chorus. It's the beginning part where he goes, "Nobody pray for me, even a day for me," and he says "way." The way that note resonates with the stupid guitar riff, I cannot stand it. I don't know why it like doesn't resolve right. If that makes music, people will know what I'm talking about. Like the way the pitch and it just doesn't.
I know what you mean.
It just bothered me.
No, dog. When you're talking to me, I'm different. Like my top 3 albums are 2014 by J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Graduation by Kanye West, and Blonde by Frank Ocean. It's like you get like 2 rap albums, and you just have like that. It's like I try to listen, like lately I've been listening like Weezer and stuff. Like I'm like, that shows you like I'm a rap head at heart, but like I've been listening like Weezer, what's their name? It's right here. I've been actually listening to Boxcar Racer. They're pretty good. Angels and Airwaves. I've been listening to Fall Out Boy. I've been listening to Green Day. Like I've been switching it up lately. So
Green Day.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I was telling my mom this the other day. I was like, you know how weird I am? Because a lot of people don't realize this, but if you like a certain type of music and it's like an old type of song, a lot of kids end up listening to music their parents grew up with. So for me, my parents grew up in the 80s, and my parents really fucking liked Billy Joel. Guess what I listen to today, most of? Billy Joel.
That's such a lie, dude.
No,
Dude,
it's
my
I
parents.
said
No,
most
listen,
people.
listen. Oh, okay. I'm like, that's not me. My
Most
parents
kids.
grew up listening to like poppy stuff, and like poppy stuff in country, and I listen to like rap and like and all that crap. The other reason I don't listen to rap as much anymore is because it's so mainstream and it's so cringy. And you've been somebody who's been listening to rap since like freshman year of high school, like hardcore. And you got all these cringy people coming in acting like they know what they're talking about. It's like,
Right.
it's like, oh yeah, they're like, you're like, oh yeah, Travis Scott. Bro, Days Before Rodeo is probably my favorite project. Skyfall and Drugs You Should Try Them are my favorite songs. They go, yeah, dude, Astroworld. You're like, oh, dude, I love like Mamacita's another good song off of that. It's like, bro, Rodeo's so good. I freaking love 92. I don't know all the numbers by her, like 92010, and it's like that song is so good. Or like I love Apple Pie, and people are like, yeah, bro, I really like Stargazing. You're just like, oh my god, like the dropped, and all these people that have been hating on J. Cole because I'm a huge J. Cole fan. He's my favorite artist. Started coming saying, yo, J. Cole's hard now. I'm like, oh, is he? Like, yo, why you being like that? I'm like, oh no, I'm just. Remember when you said he was boring and whack and his lyrics sucked? Not now, huh? It's just frustrating to me. After you know what I mean? After so long, it's like. And then you got all these artists like Lil Mosey, Lil Tecca. Like I like Lil Tecca. I think he's alright, but like I can't. It's so oversaturated. And there's like so many new artists. I've kind of like I got like my select artists in the rap industry that I listen to now, but I don't sit there and like I'll listen to like my brother likes all that stuff, so I'll listen to like Lil. When I'm with him, sometimes I'll bop to it on my own. You know, just like when I'm doing chores, I just need something like to move to. I'll listen to it, but like. When I'm like in my car, like I've been switching up and listening like mainly just artists I like in the rap industry, and then like or like I'll be listening to new stuff like A Day to Remember and Find Me the Horizon. I've been listening to a lot lately too. So that's when it comes to music lately. That's where I've been because I can't do it anymore. It's so rap's so mainstream now. It's like, dude, that's whack. And that's all I got on that.
But I just think I don't know what study that was from, but it's weird that it became true for me because what was it? One of my dad's friends was over at their house, and his son was like, "Hey Dad, check out this," and he like played it riff on the guitar. And his dad was like, "I bet you $10 I know what how the rest goes." And he was like, "All right." So he played the rest. He was like, "How did you know?" He's like, "Cause that's a song from the '70s or the '80s," which I find it hilarious. And it's just weird because we'll be on road trips, and we'll be playing Queen, we'll be playing John Bon Jovi, Billy Joel, just like all of these artists that I like that date back to that '70s and 70s and 80s and 90s, and it's what my parents listened to, and I don't know, I just find it very interesting. But then again, there's a lot of music I listen to today they don't even know exists. Like my dad knows rap only exists through Eminem, and he only likes 2 of their songs.
Eminem, that's another. He's not appealing to me.
Yeah, his I don't remember what the other one was, but one of them was the one with the spaghetti arms, whatever. I forget the.
Until I Collapse. I actually like that song.
Yeah.
There's like 3 songs I like, and besides that, I just can't do Eminem.
And he likes Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that has been the Games and Things podcast. This one will actually be about 2 hours almost.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. So please leave a like, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like what we're doing, please tell us. If you don't like what we're doing, tell us. Maybe we'll fix it. We'll see. Probably
I'll
not.
get a new mic soon.
Yeah, so his audio will be a little bit better.
In like in a month or 2. No, not a month or 2. In like the next month, in November, I will be getting a new mic.
I was gonna say by the time the next podcast starts, I don't know. I was thinking something would have happened, but it didn't. We have, yeah. All right. So we will see you guys in the next episode. I don't know what's upcoming on my channel. Something hopefully soon. Until then, see you guys next time.
Peace.